A very warm good afternoon to everyone. I welcome you all to our webinar. And first of all, would like to thank you for joining our webinar. I hope everyone is able to hear me. Yeah. So we're gonna start at 2 p.m. till it is already time, and I hope you all are attending the webinar. You are taking this webinar from your laptop and not through your phone, because it is always advisable to take such kind of webinars on your laptop. Now we've got a special surprise for the people who will be there with us till the end. So would request you and would suggest you to be with us till the end. All right. Also, would like to tell you that you do not need to note down anything during the presentation, because after this, after our webinar gets over, we are going to mail you this presentation. So don't worry about noting down anything. All right. Another thing, there is a number being reflected on your screen, which is +91 89200 60461. So you can save this number, and after the presentation or during the presentation, you can WhatsApp me your queries. My WhatsApp number is there with me. So you can, during the presentation or maybe after the presentation, during the Q&A session, we will be taking all your queries. Just keep on sending me your queries on WhatsApp and would try to solve them. Hello everyone, and I welcome you to this webinar, which will not only train you in French language, but will also provide you with a glimpse of our teaching style. Yes, because here in India, I believe that we Indians, we are not used to our online classes that much. So this webinar will provide you a glimpse of our teaching style, first of all. All right. So first I'll begin with my introduction. My name is Suchita Gupta, your very own French language instructor. First of all, would like to tell you my qualification. So I'm a postgraduate from Delhi University. That means I've done my MA from Delhi University GRS department. And I am also a holder of DELF C1. All right. Regarding my experience, I was working as a French language trainer with Presidium Group and a Delhi Public School a few years ago. But recently I was working as a language assistant with Académie de Versailles in Paris. I was working, and I have taught more than 2,000 students till date, offline and online. And now I have my own institute by the name of Alpha Français. So I provide online and offline both type of classes. All right. A very common problem that students face here in India, that I realized when I was working in France, that students know how to read and write, but when it comes to speaking and when it comes to comprehending what the other person is saying, that means listening and speaking, they lag behind. So while I was working in France, I learned so many strategies on how to focus upon listening and speaking skills. So while taking care of reading and writing, of course. So the students who are presently there with us, who are enrolled in any of our courses, they very well know that all these four aspects of the language, we have four aspects of the language, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. All these four aspects are very well taken care at Learn French by Suchita. Now the next question arises is, this webinar is beneficial for whom? So this webinar is first of all beneficial for the people who are preparing for DELF or DELF examinations. So DELF A1, let's say DELF A2, DELF B1. Another thing, there are people who are preparing for TEF or TCF examination, that is for immigration to Canada. This webinar is beneficial for them as well. Another thing, this webinar is also beneficial for the school and college students who have this language in their course curriculum. The people who want to become as French language instructor or French teacher in future, or maybe the people, the students who are going for higher studies in France or maybe any other francophone countries. This webinar would be beneficial for them as well. And also anyone else who is passionate about learning French. All right, because the topics which we are going to discuss today are very, very basic ones. So basically the goal of today's webinar is to introduce you to our teaching style and of course to train you in the French language. So I believe we should begin. So the webinar would be for around 1 hour. It may be 55 minutes to 1 hour. Let's see. So the first topic that we are going to take up is les pronoms sujets. Les pronoms sujets. Les pronoms. This sound of R which I'm creating, les pronoms, this comes by practice. All right. Now, les pronoms sujets, which means the subject pronouns. Again, I'm repeating, there is a number being reflected on your screen. Just save this number in your phone, and on WhatsApp, you can, ask me all your queries in between the webinar also. You can. All right. So the first topic of the day is les pronoms sujets, which means the subject pronouns. So you must have studied this topic in English also. What are subjects? Subject is anything who is the doer of an action. Now, the doer of an action, for example, I say, I do my homework. So who is actually doing the homework? I. So I am the subject of the sentence. Let's say I say a sentence, he is cooking. So who is cooking? He is cooking. So he is the subject of our sentence. So we are going to learn the subjects in French. Now the next slide appearing on your screen states all the subjects that we have in French. So if you see on the left hand side we have singulier, on the right hand side we have pluriel. Okay. Now there are 4 singular subjects in French and 4 plural subjects in French. Let's begin with the singular subjects first. The first one is je. Je. Remember, it is very important to repeat after me, all right? So as to improve your pronunciation. Je. Je means I, all right? The next subject is tu. Tu. So je, if you see I, that's a singular subject. Je means I. Tu. Tu means you. Okay? Now the third subject is il. Il means he or it. Again, he or it is a singular subject. Il. So je, tu, il. Il means he or it. Now the fourth subject is elle. Elle. So elle means either she or it. Je, which is I. Tu, which is you. Try to repeat. Il. Il means either he or it. And we have elle. Elle means either she or it. Then we have the subject un. Un. Now, you must be thinking that un means we. Then why have I written it under the heading singular? So I want to talk about this thing later on. This question will be solved later on. Okay, but right now just remember that un means we. All right. Of course, it's a plural subject, but why have I written it under singular? I'll solve this out later on. Now, pluriel. Pluriel, we have 4 plural subjects, including on, it would be 5. Okay. Now, nous. Nous. Nous means we. Nous. Remember, it is not nous. It is nous. In French, we do not pronounce the last consonant. What are consonants? Consonants are the letters which are not vowels. Okay. So let's say A is a vowel, but B is a consonant. C is again a consonant, D is again a consonant, E is a vowel. So we are not going to pronounce S. So it will not be noose, it would be nu. The next is vous. Vous. Again, it is not vous and it is vous. Okay. Now no means we. Now you must be thinking that no also means we and also means we. So what is the difference between these two? So first of all, it is used in informal sense. Okay, while speaking, we use more. Okay, and is also used as, like in English, we say speak truth. So in that sense, we use Okay, so generally, if you want to translate it into English, then it would mean we only, or maybe it can mean one also. But it is used in informal sense. And while speaking, we use more rather than no. Okay, no means we. Then we have vous. Vous means you or you all. Okay. Now I told you tu also means you and vous also means you. Okay. So but there is a difference between these two. If there is a single person standing in front of me, let's say there is only one person standing in front of me, and I want to say him, let's say any sentence, you are tall. Okay, you are tall. So that is a single person standing in front of me. That would be tu. I am going to address him with tu. Now, supposingly, there is a group of people standing in front of me, and I want to tell all of them that you all are tall. Let's say you all are tall. So I would address them by vous. Okay, so tu we use for singular person, and vous we use for plural person. Okay, now there is one more usage of vous that we would discuss later on. But right now, you just keep in mind that tu is used for singular person and vous is used for plural people. All right. Now, coming on to the next subject is il. Il. Remember, it is not ils. So even il is also il and ils is also il, which would mean they. All right. Now the next one, of course, it is L and not else. Okay. L. L means they. Now il also means they and L also means they. So what is the difference? Supposingly there is a group of people and all of them are males, I'm going to address them with il. And I'm sorry. Now there is a group of people supposingly and all of them are female, all of them are girls, so I'm going to address them with L. All right, so let's repeat it once again. Je, il veut répéter, hein? Chaque fois il veut répéter. Je means I. The next is tu. Tu would mean you. The next is il. Il means either he or it. The next is elle. Elle would mean she or elle would mean it. Okay. Coming on to the next subject is means we. Okay. Next is nous. Nous means we. Next is vous. Vous means you or it can also mean you all. Okay. The next is il. Il means they. And the last one is elle. So L means they. All right. Now I told you what is the difference between nous and on. Both would mean we, but on is used in, first of all, informal sense, and second when we are talking generally as in one goes to the supermarket to buy some fruits and vegetables. So in this sense, I'm going to say on va au supermarché pour acheter des fruits et des légumes. I know it's a difficult sentence, but so my main aim was telling you that we use for gender sense. All right. Now another thing, what is the difference between tu and vous? So I told you tu would be used for singular person and vous would be used for plural people. All right. But here would like to add one more thing. Vous can also be used for single person. When it is used for single person, it is used for a singular person when we are talking formally to anyone. All right, when we are talking formally to anyone, then we can use it for a single person as well. Supposingly you're talking to your boss, even if he's a singular person, then also you should address him with vous because you share a formal relationship with your boss. So tu is always used for single, but vous can be used for singular person as well, for plural people as well. Why? Because vous is used for single person when we are talking formally to someone. All right. Now, the difference between il and elle would be explained in the next slide. So let's move on to the next slide. I'm waiting for the next slide to load. Yeah. So what is the difference between il or elle? Where to use il and where to use elle? So supposingly, if you can see the first picture, all three of them are boys. Okay. So all three of them are boys. Therefore, I'm going to use il and not elle. In the second picture, you must be seeing all five of them are girls. So therefore, I have written L for them. All right. Now the third picture, if you can see, there is a group in which there is a group of you will find boys as well and you will find girls as well. So what do we do in such case? In such case, we use il. All right. So il can be used when the group contains all the boys or when the group contains male persons as well and female people as well. All right. So that means L we use only when all of them are girls. All right. Let's suppose there is a case, there is a group in which there are 50 people. Okay. So in those 50 people, let's suppose 49 of them are girls and one of them is a boy. Then also I will have to use il. For using L, all 50 of them should be girls. Even if one of them is a boy, I will have to use il and not L. I hope this thing is clear to you. All right. Would repeat again. There's a number being reflected on your screen. Please save this number. Any doubt, any query, not maybe, it should not necessarily be from the presentation. It can be any doubt. All right. You just, you can WhatsApp me your doubts. Any doubt which you are facing these days if you are already learning the French language. All right. One more thing, if by chance we go offline due to electricity connectivity issues or anything, just be rest assured I am going to be online after 5 minutes. All right. So just don't worry. Ne vous inquiétez pas. So the next topic which we are going to take up is le verbe être. All right, le verbe être. So now, first of all, before beginning with this topic, do you already know what are verbs? In English also. So the verbs are the action words. Any action that you do is a verb. Let's say to write, to play, to close, to study, to read. All these are verbs. Okay. So if I say to read, okay, so this is a verb. Of course, this verb to read is there in its infinitive form. If I say there is a verb to read or to write or to listen, all these verbs are there in its infinitive form. Okay, when I put these verbs with the subjects, that becomes their conjugations. All right, now let's say I take any verb, I take the verb to read. Okay, now the infinitive form of the verb is to read. I will put that with the subject. Let's say the subject is I. With I, it would be I read. So I read is the conjugation of the verb to read. Then I would say you read. Then the third is he. If I say he, can I say he read? Is it correct if I say he read? No, of course it's not correct. Okay. So if I would put it with he, it would be he reads. He reads with an S. So what is happening? With the subjects, the conjugation of the verb changes. Of course, the verb is to read only, but to read is the infinitive form. I read, you read, he reads, she reads are the conjugations of the verb to read. So the verb that we are going to do is le verbe être. So être is actually the verb in its infinitive form. C'est le verbe à l'infinitif. Okay? So this verb in English means to be. To be. Okay? Moving on to the next slide, we are going to learn the conjugation of this verb être. So whenever you write the conjugation of any verb, you always write the subjects first. That is the reason the first topic that we did today was les pronoms sujets. Alright? So the topic is le verbe être, and therefore I have written all the subjects. If you can see on the right hand side, I've written je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, and elle. Okay? Now, je suis. So, suis basically is the conjugation of the verb être. Être is the verb in the infinitive form, and suis is its conjugation. Okay? Je suis. Now, if you remember, what was the meaning of je? Je means I. So, je suis will mean I am. Okay? Je suis. Je suis. Il peut répéter. Je suis. Tu es. Tu es. Now, you must be seeing that I'm not pronouncing the last consonant. Je suis, I'm not saying je suis. Je suis. Tu es. Again, it's the verb être only. Okay? But you means you. So the meaning becomes you are. Okay? Coming on to the next one is il est. Il est. Il est, which would mean he is or it is. Why? Because the meaning of il was either he or it. So il est, which means he is or it is. Now, the next one is elle est. Now, here I would like to mention that il and elle, they will always share the same conjugation in all the words. In every verb, they share the same conjugation. So, for example, with il, I've written a. So, with elle also, I need to write a. Okay. So, il est, which means he is or it is. Elle est, which means she is or it is. Then the next one, on est. On est. Now, if you remember, I told you I would be answering to this question later on. Why did I write on in the singular column? So why did I write? Would answer now. Because on always takes the conjugation of il and elle. Okay. So in every verb, whatever conjugation you write with il or elle, on will also take the same conjugation. Okay. So it's always written together. Some you would be seeing in books, it is always written together il slash elle slash on. Because all three of them take the same conjugation. So it is je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, on est. On est, which would mean we are. Let's move on to the right hand side column where we can see all the plural subjects. Okay, so nous sommes, nous sommes, nous sommes, which means we are. Okay, we are. Nous sommes, which would mean we are. The next one is vous êtes. Vous êtes. Vous êtes, which would mean you all are, or it can mean you are as well when you're talking formal to a single person. Then it would mean you are. Okay. Now, vous êtes. Vous êtes means you are. Now, can you see, but I told you the pronunciation of VOUS is VOO. Then why am I saying it as VOOZ? Why am I saying it's VOOZ, VOOZ? From where the sound of S is coming? So there is a rule known as liaison. Liaison. So what happens in this rule? When a particular word ends with a consonant. So if you see the word VOO is ending with a consonant which is S. And the word next to that is beginning with a vowel, which is E in this case. So then you start pronouncing the last consonant of the previous word. So that is why it is not VOO-eth and it would be VOO-zeth. All right. Now, coming on to the next subject, which is ils sont. Ils sont. Ils sont, which means they are. Ils sont, they are. Of course, that's used for masculine. And elles sont, which means they are again. So il and elle share the same conjugation, like il and in singular also share the same conjugation. So in plural also il and elle will share the same conjugation. So elles sont, which would mean they are, which is used for feminine. All right. Now by mistake, I've written mixed masculine and feminine in L. Actually, it should go above. So for a group where we have males and where we have females, in that case we use ils sont. So it is just by mistake that I've written mix of masculine and feminine in L. It should go actually with il. Okay. So just repeat after me. Je suis. That's the most basic verb, and after this you would be able to frame very, very simple sentences. So it's very important to learn this conjugation by heart, and another thing, to learn its pronunciation. Okay, so for the pronunciation part, c'est très important de répéter après moi. Il faut répéter. Je suis, which would mean I am. Okay, tu es, which means you are. Il est, which means he is or it is. Elle est, which means she is or it is. Remember, on always takes the conjugation of il and elle. So, on est, which means we are. Nous sommes, which would mean we are. Vous êtes, which means you all are. The next one is ils sont, which means they are. Ils sont, which is used for either a group of males or a group in which we have males and females both. All right, so ils sont. And the last one is elles sont, which would mean they are. I hope you've repeated after me. So, and you've learned the conjugation. Okay. Do not write anything. I would be mailing you this file after on your email IDs after this webinar. So moving on to the next one is exemple. So we are going to write very simple examples, and if you have saved my number, you can also frame such simple examples and you can WhatsApp me and I would correct them. Okay, so very simple examples starting from the first example, that is je suis Suchita. Je suis Suchita, which would mean I'm Suchita. You can replace your name with my name. Okay, so you can say not je m'appelle, you can say je m'appelle as well. But the thing is, over there the verb is different. But you can also say je suis Suchita. Supposingly je suis Priya, je suis Sophie, je suis Jacques, any name. Okay. Now the second example that I've written is tu es indien. Tu es indien. Tu es indien, which means you are Indian. As simple as that. If you need, if you know how to say you are, you would be able to say you are Indian, you are Canadian, you are Mexican, anything. So tu es indien. Just make simple sentences. Side by side, you're watching, side by side, just make simple sentences and you can send it to me on WhatsApp. I would correct them. The next one is nous sommes. Nous sommes, if you remember, what is the meaning of nous sommes? Nous sommes would mean we are. Okay? We are tall. We are tall. Nous sommes grands. Okay? Ils sont petits. Ils sont petits. They are short or they are small. Ils sont petits. Fifth example that I've written is il est beau. Il est beau. That means he is handsome. So je suis Suchita. Tu es indien. You can also replace tu es by any other subject as well. You can say il est indien. Okay. Nous sommes grands. Nous sommes grands, which would mean we are tall. You can also say vous êtes grand. If you say vous êtes grand, that would mean you are tall or you all are tall. Then the next one would be ils sont petits. Ils sont petits, which would mean they are small or they are short. Il est beau. Il est beau, which would mean he is handsome. So I believe you must have studied this verb être by heart. You know it by heart now. And you would be able to make very, very simple sentences from this verb. Okay? Now, moving on to the next topic. And the next topic that we are going to do is les émotions. Les émotions. So in today's class, we are going to learn 5 emotions. Okay? 5 feelings. How to express yourself. Okay? So basically, when you say any feeling, you say, for example, I'm tired. Okay? You say you are tired. Anything. Then you require the verb être. So that's the reason first we did pronom sujet, then in continuation to that we did le verbe être, and now we are moving further with the topic which would mean the emotions or the feelings. Okay, now so the first feeling that comes into my mind is happy. Okay, so je suis content. So if you see, I've written 2. So first one will be always masculine and the second one is feminine. Why it is feminine? Because I've added an E in content. Okay, so the first one is je suis content. Je suis content. So supposingly a male has to say I am happy. So what would he say? He would say je suis content. Je suis content, which means I am happy. Now, supposingly, I want to say I am happy, I cannot say je suis content. I would have to add an E, and therefore the pronunciation changes a little bit. So if you see in the first one, T is your last consonant. And as I told you, the last consonant in French we generally do not pronounce. Yes? So that's the reason the first one is pronounced as je suis content. Je suis content. I am happy. And the second one, here I've added an E. So T is not the last letter now. So therefore, we'll pronounce that and the pronunciation becomes je suis contente. Je suis contente. So if you listen well, I am pronouncing the last T. Okay? Je suis contente. Je suis contente. Okay? Now, supposingly, je suis content, je suis contente. This you already know now. If a male wants to say, I'm happy, he would say, je suis content. And a female, if she wants to say, she would say, je suis contente. Yes? Now, supposingly, you're talking to someone who is, first of all, singular person. And if he is male, and you want to say him, you are happy. How will you say? If you remember, you are for a single person. Informally, we say, tu es. So you will say tu es content because he is a male. So that's the reason I'm saying tu es content. Supposingly, he's not a male, but there is a girl. I would say Tu es contente. Tu es contente. So basically, you need to replace je suis by the subject that you want to say. So it can be je suis, it can be tu es, it can be il est, it can be elle est. But just take care of masculine and feminine things. Okay? Moving on to the next emotion is je suis triste. Je suis triste. Je suis triste means that is the opposite of content. That is, I am sad. Je suis triste. Now, can you see in case of triste, triste is already ending with an E in its masculine form. Yeah, it is already ending with E in its masculine form. So, the adjectives in which we have E, we already have an E in the masculine form, their feminine form will remain same. So even a male person is going to say je suis triste, and even a female is going to say je suis triste. Okay, je suis triste, je suis triste. I'm sad, I'm sad. Okay, if you want to say to maybe a person who is standing in front of you and he's male, you will say tu es triste. Whether he's a male or whether she's a female. Okay. If you want to say he is sad, you will say il est triste. Or she is sad, elle est triste. We are sad, nous sommes tristes. But in that case, of course, nous is plural, so triste will take an S. Nous sommes tristes. Moving on to the next emotion, that is I am angry. How do you say I'm angry? Je suis fâché. Je suis fâché. Je suis fâché, which would mean I am angry. A male person is going to say je suis fâché, and even a female is going to say je suis fâché. There is no difference in the pronunciation, but of course, while writing, it makes a difference. Male will write the first one and female will write the second one with an extra E. All right? Je suis fâché and je suis fâché. Okay? So, if you want to say you are angry and the person is male, you're going to say tu es fâché. The first one. And if she is female, you're going to say tu es fâché. Il n'y a pas de différence entre la prononciation, mais quand on écrit, of course, there is a difference. Je suis fâché, the second one. Or if you're saying you are angry, you're going to say tu es fâché. If she's a girl, the second one we're going to write. Moving on to the fourth emotion is I am sick or I'm feeling sick. That would be je suis malade. Je suis malade. Now, malade means I am sick or I'm ill. Now, again, you see malade is already ending with E in its masculine form. Therefore, in the feminine form, I have not changed it. All right? So, even in the feminine form, it would be je suis malade. Okay? Je suis malade and je suis malade. Tu es malade. Il est malade. Elle est malade. Nous sommes malades. With an S. Vous êtes malade. If you're talking to a lot of people, then it would be with an S. If you're talking formally to only one person, it would be vous êtes malade without an S. Okay? Ils sont malades with an S. And elles sont malades with an S. So supposingly, if anyone asks you, comment ça va? Comment ça va? Then of course, this is the most common reply that we give. Ça va bien, merci, or super bien, très bien. These are very common replies. But you can also say, je suis content ou je suis contente. Je suis triste. Je suis malade. Je suis fâché. You can say any of these emotions. Okay. Now, coming on to the last one is je suis fatigué. Je suis fatigué, which means I am tired. Je suis fatigué for masculine, and for feminine, it would be, the pronunciation is not going to change. Je suis fatigué. But there would be an extra E, just like fâché. Fâché, the pronunciation was same, but while writing, it makes a difference. Okay, so je suis fatigué, the first one. Okay, for males, and for females, je suis fatigué with an extra E in case of females, which would mean I am tired. So if I ask you, what do we say to I am happy? What would you say? Try to think. It would be je suis content. Très bien. Je suis content. Next one is I am sick or I am ill. Okay, so that would be je suis malade. Je suis malade. Très bien. The next one, I am sad. Try to think. I'm sad is je suis triste. Je suis triste, which would mean I am sad. Okay? I am angry would be je suis fâché. Je suis fâché. And the last one is I am tired, which would mean, which in French, what do we say to that? Je suis fatigué. Now, if you will actually hear the French people talking, they don't say je suis. They speak it so fast, then instead of saying je suis, they say suis. Je suis fatigué. Je suis content. Je suis. So they don't say je suis, they mix it and they say suis. Je suis fatigué. Je suis fâché. Je suis triste. Je suis content. So, okay, so that's why while writing is something very different and speaking is something very different. That happens in every language. Let's say Hindi also, let's say English also, because we tend to omit certain consonants, certain words while speaking, because we tend to speak so fast. All right, je suis fatigué. So try to pronounce this je suis. Actually, it is je suis, but we say je suis when we, mix it together while speaking. So I believe these were the three topics that we wanted to teach you today, and there are certain doubts which have come up on WhatsApp. Would like to solve them first. So the first doubt which has come to us is how to differentiate between masculine and feminine. How to differentiate between masculine and feminine. So basically, let's say any noun. If I say table, if I say chair, if I say clock, so there is no hard and fast rule of deciding whether a word is masculine or feminine, but there would be a general rule that I would say, but that is applied only in 70% of the cases. 30% are exceptions that you have to learn. Okay, so the first, so the rule that I'm going to tell you is generally the words which end with E, they are feminine. But of course, I am going to say that this is not a hard and fast rule. Okay, so if I say pen would be in French, it is known as stylo. Stylo, now stylo doesn't end with E, it ends with an O. So therefore, I would say on a stylo, it's masculine, all right? And supposingly, I would say anything, gum. Gum means an eraser. So gum, G-O-M-M-E, that ends with an E, so that would be feminine. So that's a very, very general rule. Okay, 70% of the cases, 30% which do not follow this particular rule, you have to remember those cases. Okay, there is no rule. Now, how to practice R sound in French? A very good question. How to practice this R sound in French? So when I was a student, I remember this R sound, was a very big problem for me as well. Look, so I could not say prononciation. I could not say bonjour. like this kh sound. So I am thinking to record a video on this particular topic, how to practice our sound in French. But of course this kh, this comes only out of practice. Okay, this comes out of practice. You need to practice by kh. Instead of saying bonjour, you say bonjour. So it's, I would not say that if you say bonjour it is incorrect. It's not incorrect, because when I was learning French and I went to France, I used to say bonjour. Okay, because I did not know how to pronounce this sound. So even then the person is going to understand, but that is their accent. Okay, so you will have to really practice this by reading, by watching different videos. You can practice this sound. This will come only out of practice. Okay, so like you don't say français, but you say français, français. Okay, but even if you say français for beginning, it is not incorrect. Okay, it is not correct. I mean, it is not incorrect. It is absolutely correct, but it's just the difference in the accent. Okay, now the next question, which is coming to us is, I think that French pronunciation is difficult. What do you say? So yes, see, the French pronunciation, you find it difficult. Why? Because we write something else and we pronounce something else, and most of the times we do not pronounce the last consonant. That's the most difficult part here. So how do we get to know which is the last consonant, and how do we know what is the pronunciation? So I think that if you know the phonetics of the language, the 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 pronunciation is not at all difficult. So like I would say, when you were learning English, when you were a kid, when you were learning English, you must have learned the phonetics of English as well. Like I would say ch in English is ch, but in French it is sh. So these are phonetics. If you know how to break the word and how to pronounce it, okay, then the pronunciation is not difficult. Then the next question which comes to us is, where to use which accent? So that's again a very good question. Usage of accents change their pronunciation. Okay, so for this, of course, I cannot teach you this. That's a very huge topic again. I cannot teach you right now what is the pronunciation of which accent. But if you log into our website, which is www.learnfrenchbysuchita.com, if you log into our website, you will find a course for phonetics. In that, I have, recorded various videos in which I have, told you what is the pronunciation of, let's say, CH, OU, OI. So what is the pronunciation of those combinations? So if you know the combinations, then of course you can always break the word and you can pronounce it. And it also contains the accents as well. Usage of which accent creates what impact. All right. So that's a very good course. You can go ahead and you can purchase that. Another question which is coming to us is, how much time will it take for me to learn French? Very good question. I would come to this question later on when I would, tell you about our courses. Okay. So the next question, is it advisable to learn French while shifting to Canada? Of course, yes, 100%. Because in Canada, there are some provinces where French is the main language. Let's say if I talk about Quebec, if I talk about Montreal, then there people speak French. So I am right now teaching a lot of students who are planning to immigrate to Canada, who are preparing for TEF examination, and even if the students are not even preparing for TEF examination, who want to know it, because when they go to Canada, they don't face any problem. All right, I would come for that course as well later on. Now, how to pronounce over self-introduction in French. So by this question, maybe I think that you want to know how to introduce yourself in French. So last month, in the month of June, we took a webinar in which we explained you how to do a self-introduction. So I would request you, that webinar is already there with you on our YouTube channel, which we took in the month of June. Just go there, have a look. That's the whole webinar is recorded, and you can go and learn how do we introduce ourselves. Okay. Now coming on to the next thing, is upcoming courses starting from 1st of August 2019. All right. So this will answer your question, how much time will it take for me to learn French? Okay. So talking about DELF. So first of all, before telling you about this thing, would like to explain you what is the difference between DELF and TEF. Okay. So DELF and TEF, these are two different examinations. Okay. So there are 6 levels of any language. Okay, so starting from A1, we go till C2. So it's A1, then it's A2, then it's B1, then it's B2, then it's C1, and then it's C2. Okay, so A1 till B2, we call it DELF. DELF A1, DELF A2, DELF B1, DELF B2, and then for C1 and C2, we say DALF. DALF C1 and DALF C2. DELF C1 and DELF C2. So DELF has separate levels. The main difference between DELF and TEF is this. Okay, DELF has separate levels. So supposingly today you feel that, okay, I'm prepared for A1. Okay, so you can go ahead, you can go and you can register yourself for DELF A1, right? And you can pass the examination. Later you can prepare yourself for DELF A2. Then B1, then B2, then C1, of course, then C2, of course. Understood. Now for TEF examination, what happens? TEF is single examination for all the levels. That means TEF examination has questions ranging from A1 to C2. So when you're appearing for examination for TEF, you will find the questions of all the levels, A1 to C2. Depending upon the type of questions you attempt in the paper, they will award you your level. You cannot decide your level in TEF. All right. But in DELF, of course, today, if you feel, okay, I'm prepared for A1, then I would go register myself for DELF A1. Okay, but not in TEF. All right. Now, coming on to our courses. So 4 new courses, we are coming up with 4 new courses. The first one is DELF A1. The second one is DELF A2. Third one is DELF A1. And fourth one is for TEF. Okay. Now, DELF A1. DELF A1 is for 4 months. DELF A1 is for 4 months, in which we will be taking classes twice a week, 2 hours each. So in 4 months, it comes out to be 64 hours. In DELF A2, it is again 4 months, 64 hours, same twice a week, 2 hours each. DELF B1, by mistake, it is written 4 months, and for TEF also it is written 4 months. It is actually 6 months. For DELF B1 and for TEF, it is 6 months and 6 months. All right. So 96 hours over the period of 6 months for DELF B1. And for TEF also, it is 96 hours over the period of 6 months. Okay. For all these courses, we take twice a week, 2 hours each. Okay. If I talk about the fees, then for DELF A1, it is INR 17,999. In the 4th column, we have provided you the registration link. If you want, you can click on the link and you can go ahead and make the payment if you want to register yourself. All right. Now for DELF A2, again 4 months, 64 hours, twice a week, 2 hours each. The price is 18,999. Again, the registration link is being reflected on your screen. DELF B1, 6 months. I'm telling you again, it is by mistake, it is written 4 months, it is 6 months. 96 hours, the price is INR 29,999. Registration link is given. Then TEF. TEF is again 6 months. By mistake, it is written 4 months. 96 hours over the period of 6 months, twice a week, 2 hours each. The fees is INR 29,999. Again, registration link is given to you. So I hope I have provided you all the details. And yeah, so there is a question coming to us for any concession or any discount on this course. So that's a very good question, and I keep on getting this question from a lot of people. Would like to tell you that do not see this amount as to be 17,999 or maybe 29,999. Just divide it by 96 hours. just divide it by 64 hours. And I don't think it would come out to be more than 300 INR, 300 for one class. And what I believe is the quality that I provide, that is even more valuable than this. All right. The students who are there with us, they know how much effort do I, put while taking the classes. While mailing you the homeworks, while checking your homeworks, it actually requires a lot of efforts. So this amount is not 30,000. This amount is actually 300 per hour. Okay. So yeah, would like to tell you that in a batch, these are all the batch charges. Okay. In a batch, we keep not more than 6 students. Okay, that's a maximum limit that I have decided, that I will not be taking more than 6 students in a batch. Okay, and all the classes will be held through Skype, and I've already told you there won't be more than 6 students in a batch. All the aspects, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, will be taken care of. All right. Now we come on to the bonus prize that I told you I would be announcing at the end. So the bonus prize for our first 10 learners who would be signing in any of these 4 courses. You remember I was talking about the phonetics course listed on our website, which is learnfrenchbysuchita.com. All right. For first 10 signups, for first 10 learners in any of these courses, in any of these 4 courses, I'm providing that course for free. Last month I also did that, and I've actually given them. All right, and this time also I'm giving, for first 10 signups, I'm giving that phonetics course for free, and that course is for INR 4,000. Okay. Now, the link for signing up to any of these courses, DELF A1, DELF A2, DELF B1, TEF, TCF, any of these courses is provided on the same page of our website, www.alphafrançais.com, from which you're attending the webinar. You will find all these 4 courses on the website. Now, any doubt, any query which you feel, you're most welcome. The number is being reflected on the screen. Save this number. You can, even after the webinar, I would be taking your doubts. All right, so we wind up. So it's complete 1 hour, and I would like to thank you for attending the webinar. I hope you like it, and thank you so much for being with us till the end. So, au revoir et merci beaucoup. Bonne journée.